The Qatar Radio Society would like to thank you and thank the whole amateurs in the whole world. Thank you very much. وشكرا ومع السلامة.
Turn the camera electronically. Well, it is, but it doesn't work because it's you can imagine if it's a wide screen, if you've got landscape mode or portrait, it's a different number of pixels and it doesn't work. So I've just asked Dave if it's possible. So he'll look into it and see. Malcolm said to me yesterday on the SQNet that this one was upside down, which it is. He's quite correct. It is up the wrong way. I saw it and thought, oh, it's the right way round. But it was nearly the right way round, just 180 degrees out. So the ribbon cable's on the top on this one. So they were. Anyway, we'll see where that goes. Otherwise, some mechanical mod will have to be done as before. But not so easy to do because there isn't quite the room. The hole would have to be moved, which potentially might be able to be done. It's a little bit more tricky, this one. But anything can be done if you're if you've got a 3D printer. You get, actually with this, you get a strip that sticks on there to cover up that. Say if you don't want to have the hole, you also get a thing to fill the hole in. Yeah, so that's some. Well, you can have a look around it. There you are. It's got a little cover there for both types of Raspberry Pi that you can chop out and fit. Fan in the back. This and the other. It's quite tidy. This is the one with the extended back. There's you can have a narrower one here if you want to. It's quite good. Got a piece of metal underneath to stop it from falling over. That has got all that's in there at the moment is a Raspberry Pi and a camera. You can see the cameras actually in there at the moment, just about anyway. So anyway, that's just something I'm playing with. This is actually going to be a test rig for some other things that I'm working on. I just thought, well, I've got all the other versions. So we'll see. But we'll see if we'll see. Dave will let me know if it's not a particularly high priority. I felt a little bit guilty in a way because I know he'll have more important things to be looking at. So, in fact, already it's given me a dirty fix. That sounds a bit strange, but there is a way that I can make it work with by changing a little bit. But you can't. But the monitor doesn't. Then the monitor doesn't work. But so we'll see how that works out. Okay, let me just have a look. I was looking at the wrong chat. I'm looking at SQ's chat. Okay, right. That'll be enough for me for the minute, I think. Let me see if I can find a list on there. G0 DQH is. Oh no, hang on. Who's it going to next? I should pay more attention, really. Oh, it's going to. Oh, thank you, Dave. It's going to G0MJW. Okay then. Let's see if we can do this bit. Okay, G0MJW to take it. G4KLB.
Seems we're not in a hurry. Increase the power a little bit as well, seeing as Colin was running so much. Hopefully it's not too much. Right, good evening everyone.
or good morning if you're in Brazil, or good afternoon if you're in, or even evening if you're in Mauritius. If you're watching Patrice, it would be good to see you join the net if you feel you'd like to. Be good to see some extra people on it. Right, let's just see. I've got very little to show this week, so I'll just get on with it and go to the camera on the bench and describe what's there. There's a set of things I 3D printed for the bullseye. So if I go to cat, I might be able to take them with me. There's a bullseye. There's a bag containing 10 mixers of the type used in the frequency converter. I have still got a lot of surplus boards. Now Colin's got another load as well, and Martin. So of course, now that they've all got those, I decided to redesign it and change all the numbering, because I finally made that work. So it's a bit easier to build for future people, but no problem really. It might confuse the BOM. Yeah, the only other thing to show, I think, is this thing here. Thanks to the other Colin, if you put the end out. Is that going to show up? It's a bit small. Shaky cam. With a shadow. Let's try it this way around. So that's just my rendition of Colin's bullseye tweaker. Very simple PCB. It almost worked. Might gloss over the pinout of one of the FETs. Wasn't exact, but easily dealt with because it's all through-hole stuff. I just managed to select the wrong version of it. I think I went source drain gate rather than source gate drain, which is what the actual device is, but so easy to sort that out. Anyway, it really works well, so very good. It's probably fairly pointless. It's designed to go in one of those boxes that the frequency converter is going in, so I'll put it in one of those. But it also is the sort of thing you use once and then put away. So, ho-hum. Right, Jim's melted his cable, so it's not Jim, it's Richard. Over to you, Richard. Let's hope you're okay. Let's put my test card and a GI for a DOH G0MJW.
G0MJW with the group. This is GI4DOH. Just showing the camera is still sitting, looking out the window where I left it last week. Get rid of the sound. I don't know which of these many screens I'm actually receiving myself on. That's more or less it. So yeah, what have I been up to in the last week? Been pottering about with many things, so I'm still been distracted. Which receiver am I? For some reason, I'm receiving myself on 3 different windows. I don't know. That's got it. Got rid of the sound. Yes, on working with screens that I've learnt that before you actually start something, it's a good way or a good idea to find out which is top and which is bottom and mark it so you don't design everything around it, as these screens invariably are non-symmetrical. So yeah, it was I've talked about in the past my determination to get portable. These are all new bands that I'm not very familiar with, but gradually gearing up for different bands with the ATV and the DW mode should I wish to do that. and I visited a site today which is up a little lane that people think is a private road, but in fact it's not. It's very much a public road. But I know the son of the guy that owns the house at the end of it, and for some reason I'm automatically going through all these, which is not what I actually wanted. And if I can get it to stabilize, it was out with just a drive-on mount with a little telescopic mast. And that's a 14 element 23 centimeter Yagi that's on top there. I'm just using an RSP or the SDR Duo, which is in the other room. You should see the Mourne Mountains just about appear. It's not really high enough resolution for that. The Mourne Mountains should have appeared on the horizon, and that is the telecommunications tower, which is also trying to use that hilltop, and that has caused me quite a few problems with the noise emanating from the base station. I seem to be overloading the SDR receiver. I do have somewhere amongst all my stuff here, I do have a bandpass filter for 2 meters made by Antennas Amplifiers. It was a custom job which I got because there's a local site which totally wipes out 2 meters for me. So next time I go back to this hilltop, I'll take that with me and see if that stops the SDR overload things. The bottom line is I couldn't hear any of the beacons on 2 meters, 70 centimeters, or 23 centimeters. I also have a combined 3-element 2 meter Yagi with 6-element 70 centimeter Yagi, so I'll swap that out at one stage and check around. I certainly can't hear the Dundee beacon. You can get GB3 NGI, but that's almost line of sight. I can get that from inside the house here. So, yeah, one of the things, having established that the site is there and available, it's use it when I get the opportunity. So we'll be watching out for the ATV opportunities, and also looking about maybe monitoring for openings and the rest of it more, making sure I get to know about openings when they happen. So that has kept me busy the last few days, ramping up for that. I'll pass it on round to Martin, G4FKK with the group. This is GI4DOH.
Yeah, thanks Richard. GI4DOH, G4FKK. And I'm surprised this is all working. I had to get it all going quite quickly. The wife and I have been out all day at the seaside, which is very nice. And I appear to be for a lot of the heat at the moment. It's about 28 degrees in the shack, so I don't know how long this amplifier. I hear Rob's isn't working, and Jim's blown up a cable, so I'll have to keep an eye on this. Anyway, everyone I've seen so far has been excellent pictures, good audio, etc. And sorry you've got to go to work this evening, Colin, that's most poor. Yes, there's a few projects brewing here, because I keep going and doing things like going to the beach, so I've got quite a big box here, which is, it says 10 metre transverter on it, Mike, but actually there's more bits in it than just for that. What else? Something else I thought of just now that I need to get finished. Oh, I know. Your G4 EML board looks for programming the bullseyes looks excellent. That's how far mine's got so far. I thought I can't really justify getting some printed circuit boards made for that, so I'll just do that on that's proper old-fashioned Vero board actually, with copper strips along the back. So anyway, that's in progress. This arrived today as well, yesterday in fact. So that's the I know Colin and but, so I need to order some bits for that as well. And and Mike, these arrived yesterday as well, which is the little driver amplifier boards. So if you want a couple of those, let me know your snail mail address and I'll post them off. I don't think I'm going to be at CAT, so I can't hand them over there either. Anyway,
it from me on a
last night, and we're looking at what that problem might be. Can somebody just confirm on the chat that I am actually audible, please, just to make sure? Had a message from thank you, Charles. Had a message from Noel. He's out playing 47 and 76 gigs tonight, so won't be on this evening. What's arrived here? Well, I'll do a live unboxing. Here we go. I sent off for 4 eBay attenuators because I want to be able to control the output power of my 23 SEMS rig. So there we go, one of those, and there were 4 of them for under 20 quid, so about £5 each for a programmable attenuator. So the next thing is to program a PIC to control them from a front panel, and that'll be it. That should be the 23 SEMS rack finished then. So that's the main work this week. The rest of it has been doing some tidying up on Portsdown and looking at whether there's some new things I can do with it. And as Colin said, I had a quick look at making the picture go upside down today. Didn't quite get a complete solution, but a transmissible one anyway. For the coming week, we've got BATC committee meeting tomorrow night, and then I just hope it gets cooler and I can actually do some metal work in the shack, because it's stupid at the moment. Certainly not doing any at the moment. Right, with my low audio, I'll put it round to Colin, see if he's still there or had to go to work, and then back once round. And thanks all for coming on. And good evening to all the watchers, Rob, Roger, Don, David, and Jim, and all the watchers on the stream as well. And Mike can probably give a demo of how to get multiple windows on WHPC viewer when his turn comes around. G4KLB in the net, G8GKQ.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I could hear you okay. I did have to turn it up a little bit there, but that's that's what volume controls are for. So no real issue there at all. Excellent. Okay. Other thing I've done is I've got the prototype of Mike's transverter. So here's one I prepared earlier. I got mine in a box, ready to go. So there it is, and then held in underneath with some little standoffs. So I put mine a little bit higher than perhaps is recommended, due to the fact that that's the size of standoffs I had. I think Mike uses 6mm and I had 8, so 8 it was. But that's okay, because it does aid when you need to slip the board in with the SMAs on. Having it higher actually aids a little bit of of putting the board in afterwards. So there we are. Oh, I've made some notes to myself. I've made some notes on there, and this should now autofocus. There you go. I've made some little I put some little extras. Then it should autofocus back again. Yay! I turned the autofocus off because generally with these type of things it's suggested that you turn it off, but when you want to wave something in front of the camera, then that doesn't work. So I put most of this camera back on auto. I did take some pictures of this. That's the other camera. There you go. I did take some pictures here of this arrangement. There's the underside of the board, so you can see what's to be done. I'll say Mike has Mike has redesigned it and put all the numbers. You can see the component numbers there, not necessarily all in order. It didn't cause me much of a problem, and a few other bits and pieces that have been picked out. So he's got another board ready to go. I do agree that obviously having the numbers of the components in order does aid fitting them. It can be much quicker, can save you a bit of time, not having to hunt around the entire board to look. So there we are, that's one side of it. This is yes, there was rather I'm showing this because of the amusing silk screen, so just to identify this particular version you can see that I actually had the heads up, because when I put it in the PCB house software to send it, then I actually saw the silk screen rather than Noel's one, because I haven't fitted the LED in there. It's got a red LED, red LED when it's a bicolor LED. It's red when you're on transmit and green when you're on receive, assuming you put it in the right way round. So there we go, that's that one, and then there it is in the box. You can see there's acres of space really. So that's how it was before. So there we go. So that's so with the box fits, it's a pretty good fit actually. So that's how they come, with the corners already cut out. You haven't got to mess about with any of that. It all comes ready to go. So there we go. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get back to, here we are, we're back on here now. So that's it didn't take too long. There's a few bits underneath to be fitted, obviously, quite a few bits, but there's a few other experiments. What I have realized what I realized, hindsight being a wonderful thing, you can see more boxes now, you see, is when I want to test this, I can't unless I've got two of them. I need to have another one to test it, because of course it's out of range of the receiver on the transmitter, and out of range on the transmitter on the receive. So I can't. You could put a carrier up, I guess, and such like, but yeah, I need so I'm glad I actually had the boards made now, because I can build another one, and also the same board will probably lend itself to other frequencies should we wish to do that. Oh, John's got back in. Excellent, John. I spotted G7JTT, so he may wish to jump in fairly soon. He's just got in from work. I'm just about to go to work. So there we are. Anyway, that'll be it for me for this evening, because I will probably run out of time before the next one. I think was there one more got going? Did Jim say he's got it going? Oh no, he hasn't. I don't think he has yet. Okay, but anyway, John G7JTT has just made it home. That was quite quick. He must have gone like the wind to get back for this. Okay, so well, it must be Mike. It must be over to Mike again. G0MJW to take it. G4KLB.
waiting for things to appear on my receiver. There we go. Yeah, Rob's right. It's wide open to North America. But none of them can hear me. And whenever I call CQDX North America only, I get an Italian and a Spaniard responding to me. Which, yes. Right, okay. I guess people have different views of what North America is. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to try 50.323, Rob, because it's certainly very, very noisy on 313. And I noticed there was another crowd going on there. In fact, I'll just tune into it now so you can see what it's like. That's here. I mean, it wasn't very good until I turned the beam in the right direction. So we're now... Oh, you can't see that, can you? Because I'm not on it. Yeah, so conditions look to be good. So maybe have a play on FT8 or even single sideband. But I'm loath to do too much on single sideband because beaming to North America is beaming towards the neighbours, and I don't really want to cause them any TVI or anything like that. So yes, all good. Right, there's a lot there, aren't there? So enable the transmitter and see what happens. I'm not quite sure if we should transmit first or not either. I assume we should because we're in the first world, but and 333, oh dear, oh yeah. A fewer there. So even FT8 has problems when there are so many people calling. I'm looking at the spectrum view, it's just amazing, it's very, very busy. Right, lots of interesting things there. Martin, I'll send you my email, by email I'll send you my address, but there's no great rush because I've already got an amplifier to drive my amplifier. The renumbering is for new boards, if we ever have any new boards made, but given that there's probably only, what, 5-10 people would want to make one of these 10-metre converter boards, we've probably got enough boards already actually, so it may be something that we never do. But they're ready to go, so I think as soon as Colin confirms his works, and Mike confirms his works, and Martin starts building it, then we'll find out. And Richard, yes, that looked like a really good site. It's difficult to find good sites like that. We have them up in the northwest on a place called Matchmore Lane on Winter Hill, which I used to go to very often before I lived on Winter Hill myself. The house that we have is a bit further down than Matchmore Lane, so it's nowhere near as good in most directions. But to the south it's okay. There's not much difference. You only gain 20 metres or so. But Moley Park Repeater is just, yeah, it's really, really easy to get into. And from up there, it usually should be possible to work into GI and EI without any trouble at all. When I lived in the Lake District, I used to drive over Corney Fell, for those who know where that is, and used to stop in a lay-by at the top and work loads of locals, so to speak, in Northern Ireland on just on 2-metre simplex back in the days when people used to be active. Most people in the south think that the 2-metre band is pretty dead. If you go up to the northwest, you'll find actually it's really, really busy still on 145 500. Okay, right, sorry I'm waffling. Who's next? Richard. GI4DOH. Over to you, I guess. G0 MJW.
G0MJW with the group GI4DOH, and I now know which window has got the audio coming from it. Yes, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I didn't want to take on any new projects and the rest, but just looking at the board, I've already got the relay for the board, so I don't know, I might I might be tempted to build a converter for 10 meters. And about the Cat21 thing, Dave, I'm still game for that, and wait with bated breath on your committee meeting tomorrow night. I have checked with a certain airline, flies regularly into Birmingham from Belfast, so I should be able to fit something in. They were fairly well booked for that weekend, but yeah, if you're passing the word round after tomorrow night, I would certainly jump at getting booked up for that. My younger daughter lives in Birmingham, which is not very far away from Birmingham Airport, and of course not very far away from Coventry, so I'm sure I can fit something in to justify not just going there for radio purposes. So good parental care, keeping an eye on the daughter's MI3FSW to be precise. And what else? Yeah, the other things I've been working on, because I am aware that you only know about openings if you're looking for them, so I've added another funky dongle to my collection. I find them quite useful for monitoring frequencies for things with skimmers and the rest. And also, still biding my time with this, but I got as far as this little 23 centimeter amplifier that came from Jim. The kit, I've actually soldered the main device onto the board using my little heated plate. So that was a first for me and quite a challenge. I didn't burn my fingers or anything else in the process. It wasn't low melting point solder, and I have a bit of work to do before I'll actually know whether it still works or not. But I did, you know, it was fairly quick and painless, so I've a great hope for that. So not a lot else for me here, other than it is a few degrees cooler in this country, and it was pretty hot while I was sitting in the car checking around the bands earlier, but it wasn't too bad because at least it was on a hilltop. And the thing about 6 meters, just actually get the camera the driver, you probably can't see with the CW skimmer on the left-hand side of the big screen is certainly showing quite a few stations at the moment coming in from Europe. I did point the 3 Yagi at the States a few minutes ago, but there was nothing coming from there. Did work into Hungary and Germany earlier, but on CW, but you sort of just fill in the logbook of the same thing, so I lost interest fairly quickly. So I'll pass it on round to Martin, G4FKK with the group, and hope to see you all next week. This is GI4DOH.
Yes, GI4DOH and the group G4FKK returning. Yeah, thanks Richard. I like your theory. Well, I've got the relay. Excellent plan. A lot of my projects are instigated by that sort of philosophy. Brilliant. And Jim, DQH, I'm not sure if you're coming back. At the moment you're in brackets. So I'll when I finish, I'll leave a pause, see if you're there before John comes out. Anyway, evening, John, to you as well. That's very good value for money, those eBay attenuators, Dave. I didn't quite get a quick enough. The glimpse was too quick to see whether they're screened ones or whether the open ones. But anyway, that's fine. Yes, I bought a whole slack handful of those relays, Mike, from eBay some years ago. They're quite handy. They're very good actually, for even up to sort of 2 meters as aerial changeover relays. Bizarrely, if you rest them sideways on a blank piece of board. Colin, well, good luck at work tonight. That's, I suppose it might be a bit cooler than it has been today, but it may not be. And you know, the 8mm standoffs obviously worked for getting the rather long SMA plugs through their sockets through there. Yeah, 6 meters seems. I'm hearing some quite good stuff on my vertical. I tend not to use FT8. I sometimes use it to see if bands are open, but it's particularly infuriating on 4 meters where there's enormous signals coming through on FT8 and no one on CW or SSB. But I keep persevering. I remember, talking of Winter Hill, as you were, Mike, I do remember doing a survey for the BBC because there was quite a lot of ghosting problems from Winter Hill in the local area. And we had a test set up with a proper charter pen recorder and a whole load of equipment in a lovely old couple's living room in Horwich. So I wonder if you came across them at all. Oh, so I thought someone was coming in here. What else was there? Not much else to report from here, I don't think. So I've not seen anything from James, but so I'll put it round to you, John, but with a pause in case James does want to come back for another one. He very often doesn't, but one must never assume. So G7JTT to take it with a pause for G0DQH. This is G4 Fox Kilo Kilo standing by. And good night to everyone.
Right, nothing sequencing. Hopefully everything's still working well. Apologies, things don't seem to be working very well at the moment. I don't know if it's the heat or whatever it is, but I had been playing with. Oh, this is because that won't mute. I've been playing around with stuff on here, and I think I've done something I shouldn't have done as usual. Shouldn't do things when you're tired, should you? Anyway, hopefully you're seeing me. Signal seems to have gone right down again. Just a quick look on 6 meters, and even with my G5RV, I'm seeing stateside stuff. So yeah, definitely a bit lively on it at the moment. Right, what have I done? I've actually got some switches come through. Look. That's about it. I've got some switches. The idea is that I've actually got, or I've had for some time actually, this attenuator, which if it focuses that way up, is it going to do it? Yeah, you can see. So it's 32, 16, 8, 4, 2 and 1. And it all works off of 5 volts. Spec says it's good for a couple of gigs, so we shall see. And it's quite easy to wire up because it's got the directions on there as well, which is not going to focus. There we go. So plus 5 volts, and ground is ground. 5 volt rail goes along one, and then you just apply 5 volts to the pin diode, I guess it is, to switch the various ones in. So that's one of the things I'm going to be building, and the idea is to be really silly or really lazy and just solder them straight on top like that, and then probably have a bracket or something just to support it. Anyway, that's one of the things that I'm going to entertain myself with. And a purchase from some time ago was, I took a punt on it, a microscope, one of these type things, Oh, it's not going to focus, is it? You can switch to all this stuff to start with. Right, turn that off. Now you'll be able to see what beer I'm drinking. But anyway, so one of those type things, its focus is far too close to be able to use as a soldering microscope, but as a an inspection scope, it's fine. And the only thing that seems to be missing from it was any light source. I guess the light source went in there. So what I've actually done is fitted a 18650, a little TP, whatever it is, battery charger and BMS type thing, whatever, with a switch, and if it will focus, a 5-volt cob that I robbed off of one of the torches from work, and if I don't break it, you get a very nice light now straight onto it, which is way too bright for that camera. So for the inspection thing, for looking at boards, looking at the things, it's absolutely fine. If I knew enough about optics, I could possibly adjust it to raise it up more, but I'll have to have a look at that. What else have I done? That's it really. I've made it literally just in, grabbed a cold beer, flew up here, turned it all on, realised, oh, what was it? The reason that everything's been mucked about with is because I've been playing around with DVB-T. Michelle's recommendation of, and I'm forgetting the program called now, what is it called? Oh, I can't remember where the icon's gone. Radio something or other. Anyway, it's, where have I put it? I can see what I've done with the icon. Radio Conda, there we go. Radio Conda, excellent piece of software. Installed the new radio perfectly, apart from the fact that I had umpteen different copies on there already, and they were sort of getting confused with itself. But once I cleaned all that off and got rid of it, the Radio Conda worked fine. The only issue I seem to have is that the script that Michelle has on his website, I'm not sure if it's me not driving it properly or there's possibly an error in there. Probably me, to be real honest. But so I'm just trying to get it up if I can. It's going to work. Oh, there we go. Right, so now I've got to try and get that minimised. And then I've got to try and grab it to show you what's happening. Bear with me, sorry, I forgot all about this. The screen plus video capture, window capture. Just do any one for now, and that will do. Right, that's that. Make that full screen. Sorry, bear with me. Transform, flip the screen and shoot across. Right, so the spectrum appears to be working. So you've got movement on there, but I'm getting nothing on the constellation over here. Now I don't know if that's right or wrong, and only comes on when you've actually got a DVB-T signal. At the moment it's looking at the narrowband stuff just because there's always noise there. So I'm confident this part of it's working, but not so confident that part of it's working. Anyway, I shall keep playing with it and one day even understand it. I'm guessing it probably goes around to you next, Dave. If it doesn't, I'm sure somebody knows who it should go to. So whoever's next, G7JTT.
And the net G8GKQ. Right, you may have gathered I've fixed my audio. it was sad to say it was a dry joint. It's a long time since I've had one of those, but a dry joint on the power supply line. So glad I'm back up and running with that. I was beginning to get worried I'd blown something up. Yeah, Richard, we're pretty positive about Cat 21, but we'll try and put something out tomorrow night. It'd be really good to see you. Martin, the the attenuator was a PE 4302, which is the cheapest one of the family. There he is. I'll just put him by a bit of paper so you can see him. Very small. Cost about, yeah, thanks Mike, cost about £4.50. I've just looked it up, £4.50 each for 4 of them, and it's only parallel, so it's not controllable by Portstown but just by a pick. No screen, but I'm only going to use it on 23 SEMS, so I don't see any issues coming with that. John, good to see your progress with the new radio. That Constellation, well, I don't think you'll see anything on there till you get a QPSK lock. So I don't think, I think everything's going fine there. You just need to put a 333 signal in and see if you can get a QPSK lock, and then it should do the business. Right, well my PA is sat outside in a box that's been in the sun all day. It was 28 when I came on air. It now says it's 39 internally, so not so bad. I think it's doing better out there than I'm doing in here. But anyway, so great to see you all on. Good to see all the watchers. How many we've got? 27 viewers on the stream, of which about 12 have identified themselves, and quite a few on the satellite, so that's good. So same again next week. Look forward to seeing you then, and hope your problems are easy to fix, Rob. We should have a Portstown receiver release sometime this week when we sort out a few issues, which just makes it a little more sensitive for DVB-S2. The contest showed us that there were a few issues, so but looking good on that. So GHGKQ closing the BATC net, and even by 9 o'clock, look at that, and leaving the frequency clear for a free-for-all. GHGKQ Salisbury.
Well, good night, everybody.